What's going on, everybody? We are here in the ruins in the middle of the Brazilian forest looking for Witherfang. Now, he or she has to be here somewhere because the werewolves have certainly been trying to keep us out. They even had gatekeepers out front after we got past the magical barrier, thanks to our new buddy dude, the elder tree, the grand oak. He was very cool, the rhyming tree. I love that guy. But even after we got past the magical barrier, there was a gatekeeper to try to keep us out. And, well, we've been hacking our way through the wolves, and honestly, I kind of feel bad about it because I really don't want to have to kill any of them. And I've told them as much several times, but hey, can I blame them for attacking me? For all they know, the elves, who they're at some war with, mean them no good, and the elves sent us, so we can't mean them good either. I wouldn't let them anywhere near my leader. If I were them, I would attack me too. So, you know, I totally get it, and I'm not trying to pick fights with them, but now that we're in the ruins, we can certainly expect them to attack on sight, because we're getting pretty close to where Witherfang would be. At least I assume so. But what I really want to do is have a little chit-chat and find out what the werewolf side of this is, because I know the keeper up to this point. To what extent, I'm not sure, and exactly for what reason, I may not know yet, but I just know that he's been lying through his teeth. So if that's the case, and you don't lie unless you're hiding something, obviously, so something's wrong here, and the werewolves might be able to clear that up, so I would like to hear Witherfang's side of things, and see what's going on here so I can make an actual clear judgment on what to do. I mean, obviously there's going to be a side to take here to get the elves' assistance in, honoring their obligation to the Warden Treaties, which is why we're here in the first place. So anyway, well, we'll get to all that, but we have a lot of ruin to get through first. This is going to be a rather long one because this ruin's kind of big, but it's all good. It's kind of fun. There's lots of cool enemies in here and lots of loot to find. I mean, like a lot of different enemies, including hordes of spiders who like to give you a permanent nap in their webbing. Oh, okay. Don't mind me. I'm just chilling. I'll just hang out right here. Y'all just fight it out. I'll just take a break, smoke a quick one, and just chilling. Just don't mind me. I think they all shot their webs on me all at the same time. That's actually kind of disturbing, to be the truth. All right. Hey, there's something I would like to kind of toss your way, and for those of you that are listening and are interested in the lore, the history and all that kind of good stuff, the story in Dragon Age, mull this over. Now, remember, this is coming from somebody who hasn't finished Inquisition first, and so this may be there may be a lot more light shed on what I'm about to talk about in Inquisition later on in the game, past where I'm at already. But I'll give you where I'm at up to Inquisition so far, and something the Elder Tree said, the Grand Oak, kind of got me to thinking. And check this out. All right. In Inquisition, after the events of Haven, the Elder One, you confront him and blah, blah, blah. And then Solus pulls you off to the side and he said, hey, that orb that the Elder One had was of Elven origin. Now, it concerned him for one thing, is that people would be quick to blame the elves. Oh, an Elven orb started the breach, so it's all the elves' fault, so kill them off or enslave them, And, of course, they've been doing that anyway, right? But they're easy targets, easy whipping boys, to blame everything on, to pin all the bad stuff in the world on, and say it's their fault and makes it easy. But above and beyond that, it being of Elven origin, I think that was puzzling Solus a little bit, or perhaps he knows something about it that we don't know. Whatever the case may be, he brought it up. So, all right, this is what I'm kind of gathering based on the very vague knowledge I have here of the history. And it's going to be vague with the elves anyway, because their history is vague, at least up to now. A lot of things really aren't clear, and that's good. It leaves mystery. It leaves a lot of things to be revealed later. They did something similar in Mass Effect. Many of the things that took place at the very beginning had a whole lot of significance later, but they didn't appear so until you look back in hindsight, based on what you learned in later games. You look back to the beginning and you say, oh, that's what that meant. Or that's why that was there and this wasn't there, and they said this and didn't say that, or they said this specific way, or that happened that specific way, You don't really realize at the time just how significant it is. Well, there's a lot of stuff in this like that. Now, going back and playing Origins, I'm thinking to myself, if they follow their typical MO, then that would be the case here too. is that there would be some really significant things here. And seeing as these elven runes play a huge part of Origins, I mean, considering this is like, you know, main storyline here, getting the elves' assistance, and we have to go here to do it, we learn some history about this place that doesn't really have to be brought up. Now think about what the Elder Tree says about this place, that it predates men and elves as we know them today, right? And we learn something, if you talk to everyone in the elven camp, that at one point, elves were immortal, right? Elves as they were then, not so much as they are now. You know, the sickly, overly obedient things that are real quick to bend the knee and kowtow to everybody, okay? There was a point where they weren't anything like that. I don't think they resembled then anything like they are now. And I don't know that there hasn't been some intermingling or something that's kind of watered them down some now as opposed to what they were before. And exactly in what way, I really don't know. What are all these corpses doing here, too? These are fresh corpses. Obviously, this place wasn't a secret. Those are adventurers there. You know, dwarf would be here for, you know, obviously for the treasure, right? Dragon loot right here. Looks like they almost made it, but not quite. All right, but anyway, all right. So if these runes, according to the Elder Tree, predate men and elves, all right, and elves at one point used to be immortal way back when. All right, now I'm thinking the Elder One, according to, if you talk to Varric in Inquisition, he'll tell you he's sort of a Darkspawn, but he's not even sure that the Elder One really even knows what he is, you know? That he kind of predates everyone too. He's older than dirt. All right, and so if that's the case, and he has this elven orb, which has some real significance there in Inquisition, and these are elven ruins here, is it possible that there's some tie-in between what the Elder One is or was way back when, maybe around the time of these ruins right here, and that maybe that orb itself had some significance as coming from this very place right here, or something associated to it, or whatever, because this is like pre-Tevinter. And now you're getting way back into old history, and I haven't gone to read up on that. I don't have any of the books outside of the games. I only gathered what I've gathered from reading codexes, talking to people, playing through the game numerous times, and so on and so forth. And then I'm kind of looking at Inquisition, you know, which is, you know, much later in the game, and then I'm coming back and playing this, and I'm going, huh. And some connections are being made that may or may not be there. I mean, these two may absolutely have nothing to do with each other, but I'm thinking something about this place, and something about the Elder One, which may be revealed later in the game, in Inquisition, and I'm just not there yet. In fact, the light may just come on, and, you know, it dawn upon me that, you know, exactly how things are. You know, exactly how these two are or are not related, you know. But where I'm at right now in Inquisition, there just seems to be too much similarity there, all right? And that's just taking in what the Elder Tree told me, what I learned of the Elder One in Inquisition, what Varric said, what Solus said about that orb being of elven origin, but perhaps of an elven origin prior to elves. In fact, prior to any history of the elves that even Solus may be aware of, going way, way back, all right? In other words, something passed along to the elves themselves in legend. All right, and there's another corpse. Now, the really old corpses, you can tell the difference because they're skeletons. We found, you know, just like right here, that's a pile of bones. Okay, now what are these fresh corpses doing around? And these corpses that are getting up and walking, where are they coming from? They are more recent dead than these piles of bones. I think these piles of bones are coming from the original people here, or creatures here, I don't know, whatever built this place and whatever existed here before elves and men. And then maybe these corpses are coming from the bodies of, you know, I don't know, the Tevinters and whoever else was fighting here, the elves and the humans that fought here later. And then throw in something else, and this kind of seems unrelated, but there's it's the same kind of vagueness. Is if you talk to Iron Bull in Inquisition, you know, and you ask him in depth, go through all the dialogue about the Canari, he'll say even the Canari came from another people who I probably wouldn't recognize if I saw them. And I'm playing a Canari, you know, so I don't know if that dialogue is specific to just Canari when they're talking to Iron Bull. I'm not sure about that. But all I'm saying is who the Canari people were, or whoever the people were that the Canari came from when they left original Canari lands, and I don't even remember what the name of those lands were. But, you know, you're talking about a different type of people. What if that's similar to the deal with the elves? what if the elves as we see them now aren't, you know, we wouldn't necessarily recognize them to the immortal beings that used to be before. I don't know if you get the gist of what I'm saying. So anyway, just got me to thinking and throwing all that in there, and there's got to be, with all the clues, some answers somewhere.
Watch for the demons.
Now I'm looking at these statues here. In the middle of this zombie apocalypse here, I'm admiring the statuary, right? But they look very similar to the statues that are in the Circle Tower. So whatever the origin of the Circle Tower is, whoever initially built it, I don't think it was the mages. I think it stretches back to some older ages, way back when. Don't know how far back. But maybe the same people that built, or at least furnished, this ruins as we see it now. So something, talking about some peoples that predated a lot of the peoples that we see today. Apparently, Ferelden, or just Thedas in general, has changed hands several times over the years, which happens with countries. But whoever built these and whoever built the Circle Tower apparently predates all that stuff. Now, if you remember, down in the basement of the Circle Tower was an Eluvian, one of those mirrors. Okay, and then if you play the Elven Origin, they go into this another ruin deep in the forest. It's kind of where you start the game if you play a Dalish elf or a wood elf, and you find an Eluvian. It appears to be corrupted, but you find that, and I think becoming a warden is like the only thing that can save you. So I don't remember exactly how all that played out. It's been a long time, but okay, so the Eluvians predating something, and I know Eluvians play some major part later on in Inquisition. And I got that from an inadvertent spoiler, which I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. I just remember them being mentioned, and of course, you know, that's probably going to open up really a cool storyline. I think it involves, like, Morgan and Flemeth and stuff like that. Not really sure how all that goes, but I've heard mention of it and tried to avert my ears as quickly as possible so as not to spoil it. But, anyway, if that's the case, these Eluvians and stuff, this is going way, way back when. And this is like prior to, you know, the recorded history that the elves have and a lot of our own history and so on and so forth. And I think, I wouldn't doubt that BioWare could throw in some things where the history, what men think they are here in Dragon Age, isn't necessarily true to what history really was. Because, you know, like I say, we're guilty of the same things. We'll fill in a lot of blanks with things that we just suppose based on the clues that we have available, or based on how we would like things have happened back then to influence people in the present. You know, nothing better to pass a political agenda than make it look like the side that you are fighting against is guilty of, you know, some terrible deed in the past. And in order to avoid that, you need to follow some present person's agenda, so they rewrite history accordingly to persuade you to do that. And, you know, we know that men are guilty of that. So I wouldn't doubt that they throw a little of that kind of stuff in here. Where, you know, you listen to one side say one thing and you listen to the other side say another. And then the truth lies somewhere, you know, like directly in the middle. With just shades of what either side was saying. But neither of them being right. If that makes sense. So unless they start revealing a whole bunch of stuff in the latter part of Inquisition, I think there's still going to be a lot of things that are going to be left to either some really, really deep search and putting together a lot of seemingly unrelated things from all three games. Because the writers here in Dragon Age, and they were saying in Mass Effect, they're masterful. I mean, it hiding these things the same way that historical things are hidden in the real world also. In that a lot of times you have to look, and seemingly unrelated events will actually tell you the truth. Crimes are even solved that way. Seemingly unrelated stuff bearing absolute witness with each other, as long as you put them together and add 1 + 1 and make 2, you know? until you do that, it just, none of it makes sense. But it's, you know, I'll tell you what, that's just a lot of fun. That's like a game within the game, is discovering all the game's secret, you know, the truth in the history and stuff. Now here's another thing. This is the said phylactery. Now check out what we find. This is the key to unlocking the Arcane Warrior, by the way.
A device meant to hold a spirit, perhaps? Such would be my guess. Though, what might be left of any spirit within after such a long time trapped?
This appears to be a phylactery of some kind. The essence of a mage kept magically preserved. If that were all it is, however, I would be surprised.
Is that blood in there? Whose, I wonder? You'd think it would be all dried up after so long. There must be magic involved.
All right, now there's a presence in the gem, and we get some connection to this presence. This presence is apparently a spirit that's lost its mind several times, just being stuck for eternities in solitude alone. I think what you find here is the spirit thought it would be found, and it never was. And then we're the first contact it's had, and it's probably its last hope for release. And so it literally ends up begging us to release it so it can, you know, end this self-appointed imprisonment. All right, now it's a phylactery of some kind. This would be a phylactery that predates Templars. If you're getting this, okay, so a mage of some kind, but it's Arcane Warrior, one that's able to channel his magic into strength in and of himself. And I don't know how, like, lyrium would tie into all this and stuff like that, and that's going off on a whole nother tangent. But anyway, all right, this predates Templars. Probably predates, like, the Chantry proper, as far as that goes. Okay, because the Chantry coming up from Andraste, and Andraste, whenever those events took place and thereafter, all right, then, you know, Andraste was essentially worshipped as the, you know, the bride of the Maker or the prophet of the Maker or whatever. All right, well, going back before that, there wouldn't be a Chantry, at least as we know it. There would be beliefs and religions, probably with men much closer to, you know, worshiping the Maker directly, or other things, demons and what have you, right? But here we have this, and so this, what would a phylactery be before the Templars used them to hunt down mages, when being a mage was essentially became a crime? Probably because, you know, they raise demons and kill everybody just because, I don't know, they stubbed their toe last week, or if they didn't stub their toe, their cousin did, and so that's an excuse to kill everybody. Or you made me stub my toe, so I'm going to kill you and everybody, and then then I'm going to raise you up and kill you again. You know, that's how mages think. So sure, I mean, obviously it became a crime because humans got tired of their crap. But before that, what would a phylactery be for? Well, apparently this mage was able to trap some essence of himself in this gem, right, to preserve himself. This is essentially him, although he doesn't have a body, all right? And then how would he find a new body? I don't know. But now I'm thinking Flemeth. All right, if you look at Dragon Age 2, she gives you something that she wants you to deliver to the elves specifically, right? And so she could fly off. And so if she's to be killed, which could possibly be in reference to what you might be doing yourself in Origins when you go to kill Flemeth for Morgan, assuming you do so, or whether you don't, whatever you do or don't do, she gives you that piece of herself, okay? And then when you deliver it up there in the mountain with the elves in Dragon Age 2, Flemeth reappears through some elven magic, right? Well, apparently the elven magic necessary to bring this particular mage back, although he wouldn't be in his right mind even if you did bring him back now, because this is millennium and millennium much later than what he ever planned to be brought back, obviously, all right? But it's good of us to at least be able to give him some release, all right? But I'm making the link there. Okay, so how far back does Flemeth go, and what is her relation to the Elder One? What is her relation to this time prior to elves and men? Okay, and so these parallels, which may be completely obvious to some, which might be like, oh wow, to someone else, or maybe to someone who really knows the lore, it'd be complete bullshit, and I'm making links where there aren't any. I don't know, but it's still really cool to sit here and you know, kind of think on it and kind of throw these ideas out there and see what you guys have to say about that. One or two of you in particular that are really into the lore You could probably take that and run with it and give me some feedback. Be really cool. All right. So anyway, all right. So just some stuff to think about. Okay, now down here we have this. Now, assuming what I'm saying is right, and this does predate like the Chantry and predates all that stuff, then right here, check this out. Okay, we're going to do this ritual, and we have to do this to open this door. Exactly what is this paying homage to? I mean, it may or may not have something to do with the Maker, or may have something to do with some elven gods, or may have something to do with some combination of the two, the link to which was lost over time as people separated and politics and religion and all that other crap gets involved, right? And people tend to separate and go their different ways so they can have an excuse to fight each other. Because if they're not doing that, then they don't know what to do with themselves. So it always makes me funny in modern day cries for peace. Your best efforts at peace result in war. Seriously, get along with me or else, you know. Well, you're an asshole. Well, how dare you call me that? And, you know, whatever it takes, they're going to find excuses to fight because that's what people do. But anyway, before religions or faiths or beliefs were separated, maybe back when faith was more of a pure thing, or more of a known commodity, so to speak, you have this. And we're going to perform this. It's essentially a ritual with this water jug, okay, on this altar. Like I say, this is mainly to get this door open, but still, be that as it may, this is a ceremony of sorts. Place the jug of water on the altar, pray before the altar, take a sip from the jug, pour the water back. Something along those lines, but you know what is this? Isn't a Chantry thing. This is something that goes before that, I believe. Anyway, and if that's the case, if this is the only way to get this door open, then anything we find on the other side of that door predates the Chantry also, right? There we go. And as long as we did that right, I think if you do it wrong, you like take some temporary damage or something. Maybe even get an injury, maybe. I don't remember. Alright, but look at these statues here. Don't those strongly remind you of what you saw in the Circle Tower? Made by the same people. Or the same group of, I guess you could say, believers or whatever. Alright, let's level Win up. Notice Win's been staying on her feet a lot more. And it probably helps that I have Alistair primarily assigned to guard her, because she's our main healer. She has all those healing skills, but let's see. She's got Mana Clash. she's basically done. She can do her job with what she has here. I should probably start building up towards a lot of passives, honestly. But there's got to be something else she can do. Alright. Heroic defense is something that she can throw on Alistair also. As long as he's drawing the hate, which he's going to draw more and more hate and be able to take it better and better as we go along. Basically all she needs to do is just keep him on his feet. And I can get in there behind everybody and stab him in the back. That's my job. You know, as many tactics slots as she has, twice as much as anyone else, I still wish she had 3 or 4 more. could really have her doing some stuff. There's a couple things that she can do that she's not even doing right now because I don't have all the slots available. I think she's going to get, I think 2 or 3 more, and that's about it. I don't remember exactly how many levels between each tactic slot they get, but hopefully she'll get a few more.
This should be easy enough.
When we get to level 20, what I'll do is I'll do a complete recap of my build here, in case anyone's interested. I think we're doing pretty good so far, you know? Although Morgan's getting knocked out a lot. Like I said, if she had rock armor, she could stand her feet just that little extra second to keep herself up, I think. And, I don't know. We'll get to that. There's no real rush or anything. It's just be nice to get her that eventually, to keep her on her feet just a little longer. She's like getting one-shotted here and there. Which, you know, okay, the enemies are doing decent damage and stuff, but still, one-shotted is a little ridiculous. Alright, now this chamber here is where our Juggernaut armor is. And I don't know that I'm going to have Alistair wearing that. Well, he'll probably wear it for a while. I like the Templar armor he has on right now because it's got a great spell resistance on top of other stuff. That Juggernaut, it has elemental resistances. What's she wearing? What particular kind of outfit is that? Okay, is that Elven that she's talking there? Ancient Elven or something? I don't know. So, alright, so she didn't like show her true form or anything. That's actually her. There might be something to this. Hold on, let's get rid of these shades real quick. I want to go check her out. These greater shades are no joke, are they? That's cool. Alistair can take it. Right on. Alright, it says she's a shade too. She's definitely got human form here. Okay, shades, when they show themselves as shades, that's exactly what they are. Okay, she's a shade, but she has the ability to cast a fireball. Okay, so that's pure demon there. That's something that, I don't know, maybe an arcane horror or something can do. It's not something a shade does. But she called herself a shade. There's got to be some significance there. There we go. Juggernaut plate armor. Now see, it has plus 10 to the elements, but the Templar armor he has on now is like 20% resistance to magic, period. And that'd be everything. Fear, sleep, terror, horror, any kind of curses, weakness, all that kind of stuff. So, Now, this Juggernaut might be something good for Sten, though. I mean, it's got a much better armor rating. Overall, just physical protection is cool, but seeing as mages are like the single biggest threat in this one, similar to archers and Inquisition. Okay, it's mages here, and I would say the same about Dragon Age 2, although archers and mages were kind of both equally threats. Well, hell, everything was a threat in Dragon Age 2, even the assassins, like with their one-shot backstabs and all that other garbage. So, I don't know. But there is I don't know, it's like a, 40% jump in protection as far as physical stuff goes with that Juggernaut armor. And like I say, it still has some, the elemental stuff, the common things. But that just straight up magic resistance that he's got with the Templar armor, it's kind of hard to pass up. But once we get to dinner and also once we get into the markets in Orzammar, there's going to be some really cool stuff to pick up, and a lot of the gear that I think is good now gets far overshadowed by some of those dream items that cost between 100 and 200 gold. I don't even have my haste active. Yeah. What's wrong with me? Wonder why that happened. It'll turn itself off sometimes. It's strange.
Done and done.
Oh, great. I don't even know what this is. Now, these are phylacteries later. And, okay. I brought this up with, somebody, and, who was it, Pedro? It was one of the guys, right? We're talking about, Templars possibly being, the corpses being raised to become revenants, right? Now, you crack a phylactery to reveal these guys. Now, you know, a Templar isn't a mage. It's almost essentially the opposite. Okay, so, these guys strongly resemble Templars. I mean, that looks like a Templar. It's got the, kind of the skirt bottom to the armor. The top looks almost identical. It's got, some wings there, which, I don't know, are crossed between a Templar helmet and a Grey Warden helmet, if you look at the Inquisition Grey Warden helmets. And then, I can't really see exactly what's on his chest. Don't know that it would be relevant anyway. But, they're carrying a Tevinter shield, right? And they're swinging a friggin' two-handed weapon with one hand. Overpowered asses. But, anyway, I don't know. But, this would essentially... I was thinking a Tevinter Templar, which could have some kind of link with actually being a mage. Mage anti-mages or something, or whatever. We know that the role that Templars, talking to Dorian in Inquisition, the role that Templars play in Tevinter is much different than the role a Templar would play in, like, Ferelden. It's a totally different thing. But, it's just the strong resemblance there of a Revenant to a Templar. I can't get past that. I think there's something there. And they're definitely no just regular animated corpse. I mean, the animated corpses we see are, you know, corpses. What makes a Revenant so much stronger? I mean, they're a boss level enemy. And so I would have to ask why, you know? What makes them significant? What makes them different? And all these are good down here in one way or another. Really a little guilty confession. I haven't spent as much time as I normally should have or would have in designating their behaviors or their tactics. I put some time into it. I mean, they're doing their job, but I think assigning all their skills specifically to have a lot of synergy with one another. Like, there's certain sets of sword and shield skills which go best together, depending on how you've got your party geared up. There's a difference between, you know, whether you're playing a mage or whether you're playing a rogue or whether you're playing a warrior yourself, on how exactly you want Alistair to act. It's all going to be kind of similar. But, like, you can share in the burden of keeping Alistair on his feet if you're playing a mage, for one thing. He really has to draw all the heat. If you're playing a rogue and you have to trust your other mages to either, you know, kill those that are killing him or keep him on his feet, or both. And, you know, you go around and you try to get rid of as many of the enemies that are on Alistair as you can, as quickly as possible, so that, you know, of course, obviously they don't overwhelm him. And then if you're playing a warrior too, well, you still kind of have the job of putting out DPS, but you can afford to draw some of the attention, you know. And your mages, well, it's all kind of how you play them. Do you still have them just focusing specifically on Alistair and just run your warrior as kind of more of a DPS, you know? I wouldn't even say so much off-tank, because if you're going to draw some of the heat, well, hell, you might as well draw all of it. And then, if that's the case, then you wouldn't really so much bring Alistair. You could afford to bring a, another rogue. But playing a two-handed warrior in this, on Nightmare, it's hard to run as the solo tank, as the only tank in your party. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying, but early on, it would be really difficult because everyone's squishy, including yourself. And so if you're going to draw all the heat to yourself, I don't know that if you draw all the punishment, that you're going to be able to take it. I don't think there's enough skills that you can stack at really low levels. You're certainly not going to have the kind of health or armor, equipment, and all that other stuff that you would need, I think, to be necessarily effective, or put out the kind of damage you need to put out to kill all the enemies before they can kill you. I'm not saying it can't be done. It seems like it'd be a real struggle. I'm not exactly sure how you would coordinate your whole party, unless you play it more like you would if you were trying to solo on Nightmare, which is essentially kite a lot. Aggro as few enemies at once as you can and do a lot of kiting, and if you're playing like that, you might as well just solo them, as far as that goes. Alright, get this free XP. I'm glad my followers actually walked around those traps. Did you see that? They actually seem to try to avoid them. I wonder if it's because I detected them. Oh, wow. I just had a... oh, the light just came on. I don't know if this is true or not, but what if your ability to detect traps also, like when you say it, trap, when you say it out loud, is that alerting your followers also, and the AI automatically kicks in and avoids the traps that you've located? Is that the case? Huh. That's some incentive to pick trap making early, because trap making allows you to detect traps, higher level traps, and detect traps from a greater distance and all that. And possibly call them out to your followers so they don't just run blindly through them and blow themselves up and get their legs caught and all that other crap like they've been doing. Wow, there probably is, because my followers literally walked around those traps just then. I saw that. In fact, wasn't a single one of them sprung. I was able to get the credit for all of them. I think all my points are going to go into trap making from this point forth.
Lifeless bastards.
And so you can go into stealth long enough to let your tank do his job, draw the aggro, and then get in behind him. And once he's drawing the hate, hopefully he can just keep it. Like, see, he just pulled it from me, even though I got in a few shots on him. He still pulled it away from me. So taunt's really effective. It actually really is. I can pull them one at a time, especially these little guys, because they have a really hard time hitting me. Especially the ones with regular white names like that. They have a real hard time hitting me, and I almost never miss. When you get into yellow, they tend to have a lot higher attack rating, and of course the bosses are, your defense has to be in the, several hundreds to get them to miss. But on Nightmare, everybody gets a boost in attack rating anyway, right? But my defense is really, really high, so that helps. One thing about having Liliana around is she raises it even more with one of her songs. I'm gonna go ahead and try Mana Clash on this guy right here, if I can get away with it. Gotta find him first. All right, let's see. I'm doing this just for... I want to see what it'll do to a non-quote-unquote mage. There we go. There it is right there. Let's give this a try. Now, he may be protected by some magical barriers there. Let's see, what did it do? Didn't do shit. That's weird. I mean, I know he has strong magic base. Well, I know he has no physical defense either, so let me just get in here while he's worried about someone else. That I'm slowed and everything else. Look at this crap. I'm just gonna get rid of him. He's causing all kinds of problems. Those guys are glass cannons. They put out a crap ton of damage, and oh wow. This is gonna be interesting. Well, let's see how hard it is for them to hit me, because like that? What? Take that. Crowd control right there. Oh, you gotta love the dex build, man. Gotta love the dex build. Okay, these guys are aggro down here, but they're not letting me pick up anything. I can't even see them, and it's registering as if they can see me, even though they can't. I was hoping going into stealth would drop the ag, but apparently not. So I'll loot everything anyway. Fine if they want to be like that about it. Let's see what, we'll just go to the other side of the map until, there we go. Just drop the aggro altogether. Ancient Elven armor. That's a medium armor.
It is done.
It's a step down from like heavy armor or whatever.
So bad.
But it has, well, if you're looking at it in terms of heavy armor, it has much lighter fatigue penalty. But of course not the protection, so I don't really see the point. But see, there's an orb right there in the middle of this room. Going back to orbs in the Elder one. I'm telling you, there's something there. I don't know exactly what it is. There's something there. And that is a unique set of gloves on this guy. I forgot about those. Alright, anything else before I get out of here? I think that's it. I wonder what that has, because those magical fields that allowed that enemy to teleport everywhere. Oh, yeah, okay, now check this out. Alright, the teleporting thing right there, okay? There's that whole time magic thing that Alexius was involved with. Okay, now I don't know if it's going to come out later on in Inquisition. Now, if you haven't played Inquisition, you wouldn't know who Alexius is. But there's this mage who developed this magic with the help of actually one of your followers later on, which is where you find out quite a bit about it. But he develops this magic where he can basically warp time itself, okay? And use it for, you know, like time or space travel. I don't mean space travel like going to Mars or, well, I don't know, maybe you could go to Mars. But now look at this guy. Okay, that's a Templar. Okay, that's like a fresh corpse, and he made it this far. I mean, okay, well, whatever. I don't know if there's some significance there. But, I even lost my train of thought. I'm amazed at these fresh corpses here, that are popping up all over the place. I'm wondering, why? Why are they there? Like, I see the adventurers going after dragon's loot earlier, but this guy made it almost all the way to the werewolf's lair. And what exactly was he looking for? And I'm getting mauled. Okay. I'm surprised I hadn't seen this a couple times already. That is, it's usually an instant kill right there. One of my mages must have saved me on that one. I took some offense to that one right there. Oh, okay, anyway, I was talking about those time travel, time warp things, or space travel or whatever. It allowed that arcane horror to basically teleport from one space to another. Well, there's this whole time magic thing and teleport magic thing that was taking place. I'm not talking about your character's ability to fast travel back and forth either. But literally it allowed this this mage character in the game to get to a certain area before you could, ahead of time, to do some stuff, and that all comes out in the story. But in fact, it even comes more out in the story, I believe, if you side with the mages in the game, which I didn't do, or I haven't done up to this point on my first playthrough. I went the Templar route. When I play my next character, I'll probably go mages, and maybe there'll even be more cleared up on that. But I'm just thinking, okay, so you got orbs, you got ancient pre-human and pre-elf elven ruins. You've got this elder one, which predates everybody also. But he's different from your average darkspawn. He's not exactly one of the... He's not an old god, I don't think. And he's not one of the first magisters, apparently. In fact, he was one who served And it makes me think he was a version of, maybe even an elven slave to one of the first magisters that tried to usurp heaven and caused, you know, the initial sin, which brought about blights and all this other crap. Whatever he was, he predates all that. He's got an orb. I just saw an orb right there. They were talking about time magic. I just saw the ability to warp there. Don't know what that necessarily has to do with time, but I'm just saying, too many similarities for there not to be something in all that. Very cool, man. Not very many games where you can sit there and just wonder that openly about all that different stuff.
Finished.
Alright, we're definitely approaching the end of this ruin. Definitely a good save spot right there, because I want to get this dialogue right.
Stop! Brothers and sisters, be at ease. We do not wish any more of our people hurt. I ask you this now, outsider. Are you willing to parley?
I've been willing all this time.
I am merely another of the cursed who guards the entrance to our sanctum. I have been sent to Parlay. Not with me. I have been sent to you on behalf of the lady. She believes you may not be aware of everything you should be. She means you no harm, provided your willingness to parley in peace is an honest one. Swiftrunner did not think it would matter. The lady disagrees. And since you have forced your way this far, we must acquiesce to her wishes.
Certainly well spoken for a werewolf.
Follow me. But I warn you, if you break your promise and harm her, I will come back from the Fade itself to see you pay.
I don't think I'm weird, but this may be one of the coolest, sexiest creatures, people I've ever seen in any game ever. Vines and twigs aside, of course.
I bid you welcome, mortal. I am the Lady of the Forest.
They gave her the perfect voice, too.
Do not listen to her, lady. She will betray you. We must attack her now.
Hush, Swiftrunner. Your urge for battle has only seen the death of the very ones you've been trying to save. Is that what you want?
No, my lady. Anything but that.
And the time has come to speak with this outsider, to set our rage aside. I apologize on Swiftrunner's behalf. He struggles with his nature. Truer words were never spoken. But few could claim the same as these creatures, that their very nature is a curse forced upon them. No doubt you have questions, mortal. There are things that Zathrian has not told you. It was Zathrian who created the curse that these creatures suffer. The same curse that Zathrian's own people now suffer. Centuries ago, when the Dalish first came to this land, a tribe of humans lived close to this forest. They sought to drive the Dalish away. Zathrian was a young man then. He had a son and daughter he loved greatly. And while out hunting, the human tribe captured them both.
The humans tortured the boy, killed him. The girl they raped and left for dead. The Dalish found her, but she learned later she was with child. She killed herself. Zathrian came to this ruin and summoned a terrible spirit, binding it to the body
Of course he did.
So Witherfang
Because that's what mages do. Time.
Witherfang hunted the humans of the tribe. Many were killed, but others were cursed by his blood, becoming twisted and savage creatures.
Twisted and savage, just as Witherfang himself is. They were driven into the forest. When the human tribe finally left for good, their cursed brethren remained, pitiful and mindless animals.
Until I found you, my lady. You gave me peace.
I showed Swiftrunner that there was another side to his bestial nature. I soothed his rage and his humanity emerged. And he brought others to me. In part, we seek to end the curse. The crimes committed against Zathrian's children were grave, but they were committed centuries ago by those who are long dead. Word was sent to Zathrian every time the landships passed this way, asking him to come, but he has always ignored us. We will no longer be denied.
We spread the curse to his people, so he must end the curse to save them.
Please, mortal. You must go to him. Bring him here. If he sees these creatures, hears their plight, surely he will agree to end the curse. If Zathrian comes, I shall summon Witherfang. I possess that power. I also have the power to ensure Witherfang is never found. Tell Zathrian this. If he does not come, if he does not break the curse, he will never find Witherfang, and he will never cure his people. And we shall await your return. Outside of this chamber, the passage leading back to the surface has been opened for you. Return with Zathrian as soon as you can.
Alright, we need to go back to that previous room where we first talked to the guy guarding the door. And go loot that whole area. I think there's, lo and behold, another friggin' Revenant. This place is infested with Revenants. Leftovers from the Deventers, I'm convinced. But, whatever. Alright, so she is like the embodiment of the spirit of the forest. At the same time, where did we hear this in the game? But at the same time, she's beautiful and savage. So she is essentially like a demon, I guess. A spirit bound into this world becomes a demon, according to Solus and Inquisition, regardless. But she has two natures, and so we are seeing her beautiful nature, and boy, I won't argue with that. She's hot, man. But on the other side of that is Witherfang, which is her savage nature, which she can't do anything about. I mean, it's essentially her, or a part of her. It's the other her. just as true and honest as pure as what we see here. But I believe this form of her is honest, and this form wishes to be delivered from all this. So she's here against her will, a spirit essentially bound into the body of a wolf in this world, and lo and behold, a mage bounding a spirit, summoning demons, or whatever he or she can do to kill everybody. Lo and behold, I mean, who would have figured that would be the root behind all of this crap too? Who would have thought? Is there ever an exception to that rule? Is that this is what mages are? It's not what they do, it's what they are. That they're born with a curse? No, they are a curse to the world. I'm really beginning to see that because they use none of their human rights to exercise will for the good. It's always bad. And if it doesn't start that way, it always ends that way. They find a reason. They find an excuse. Every time. It's annoying. It's really annoying. And at some point, the world has to get tired of that and say, you know, we don't owe you anything else. Well, you're this way because of this, and you're this way because of that. That's not my fault. And everyone has to pay the price for it. You know, I hear these excuses, well, who would want their child taken to the circle at 10 years old? Well, if you don't, that child in 5 or 6 or 8, 10 years is going to summon demons to kill a whole lot more children. You don't want your child taken to the circle at 10 years old. Those farmers down the road don't want their children killed because your child summons a demon because someone hurt her feelings or whatever, or some Templar looked at her the wrong way, or she couldn't get her sweet roll with dinner, and so she's going to summon demons and just kill everybody. Okay, those farmers down the road, they don't care either, right, about all that. So, eventually the world just doesn't want to hear it. You know, the price is too high. Price is too high. Well, I'd kill 100 to save one. Well, that's stupid. That's stupid to the 100. Okay, to that one, oh, well, it sounds all fair. That one gets to save his life at the expense of 100 other people. Screw that. Kill that one and save the 100. Well, I don't like that. Well, only people who like that one don't like that. Everyone else who liked the 100, okay, they're just fine with that. So, I'll take that any day. Sorry, it's just, I mean, at some point you just have to go, sick of it. You expect the worst from them, and you're never, ever, ever, ever disappointed. At what point do you accept that and say, that's really just kind of the way of things. If they're cursed, well, then, I guess that is what it is. If the mages say they're born with a curse, maybe they are. Maybe that just is what it is. Better off killing them all? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you had a circle that works, that's one thing, but if you find a circle that works, at some point someone will politic their way into that circle to corrupt things and make it not work. So there's really no answer there either. It's a hard one. It's a hard one for mage sympathizers. It's not a hard one for the innocent people that always suffer at their hands. It's an easy answer for them.
Ah, and here you are already.
And why couldn't he come here before? But he's magically here now? To what?
I am a keeper, with access to powers your king has long forgotten. I was never barred from this place.
He wishes to see if we did his work for him. Is that not why you were here now, sorcerer?
Do not call me that, witch. I am keeper of this clan, and have done what I must. Did you acquire the heart? So you wish to play games? I can sense you do not have it. Why are you leaving the ruin?
Realize he's wearing blood mage robes, right? Tevinter Magister robes?
There was no need. I knew you would find it, and I did not care to give you a history lesson about things that have no bearing on your purpose here. But it seems the spirit convinced you to act on her behalf. Might I inquire what she wants?
I mean, I think that's what those are. Anyway.
To survive, I suspect. That is the common nature amongst all such creatures. The will to survive. You do understand that she actually is Witherfang?
Sort of. Yes and no.
She is the powerful spirit of this ancient forest that I summoned long ago and bound in the body of the wolf. Her nature is that of the forest itself. Beautiful and terrible, serene and savage, maiden and beast. She is the lady and Witherfang both, two sides of a single being. The curse came first from her. Those she afflicted with it mirrored her own nature, becoming savage beast as well as...
First from her? No. The curse came from you, asshole. Are you that self-delusional?
They attacked my clan, and they were the same savages then that they have ever been. They deserve to be wiped out and not defended. Come, I will accompany you back to the ruin. Let us go and speak to the spirit, and I will force her into Witherfang's form. He may then be slain and the heart taken.
No, actually, they're not the same savages as then.
Why? You claim they have regained their minds, but they are still savage beasts. Their nature is unchanged. All they want is revenge, or a release that I will not give them. No, let us...
No, that's your conscience speaking, and that's also the heart of racism, is what you're talking about. I'll explain my reasoning why I say that here in a second.
You were not there. You did not see what they did to my son, to my daughter, and so many others. You are not Dalish. How can you know how we had to struggle to be safe? How could I have let their crimes go unanswered?
That was then, not these guys. That was those back then. These aren't the same werewolves. They're werewolves, but they're not the same werewolves. They're not the ones that did that.
I remember them as if it were yesterday. Even if they are more than animals now, they desire nothing but revenge. They will never let my clan be.
I thought they were sending this guy notes saying to stop by to end this.
Tell me, if you held your own daughter's lifeless body in your arms, would you not also have sworn an eternity of pain on those who did such to her? Very well. You wish me to go and talk? I will do so. But what if it is only more revenge they wish? Will you safeguard me from harm? I fail to see the purpose behind this, but very well. It has been many centuries now. Let us see what the spirit has to say.
Oh, that really sounds like you're going in with an open mind, dude. Yeah, the heart of racism is, well, you're like them, so you're guilty of what they did. No. Totally different person. I don't even know you.
So
hand me that crap.
Spirit.
She is the lady of the forest. You will address her properly.
He just comes at it.
You've taken a name, Spirit? And you've given names to your pets? These beasts who follow you?
It was they who gave me a name, Zathrian. And the names they take are their own. They follow me because I help them to find who they are.
Who they are has not changed from whom their ancestors were. Wild savages, worthless dogs. Their twisted shape only mirrors their monstrous hearts.
He will not help us, lady. It is as I warned you. He is not here to talk.
No, I am here to talk, though I see little point in it. We all know where this will lead. Your nature compels it, as does mine.
It does not have to be that way. There is room in your heart for compassion, Zathrian. Surely your retribution is spent.
My retribution is eternal, Spirit, as is my pain. This is justice.
There's no justice here.
Are you certain your pain is the only reason you will not end this curse? Have you told the mortal how it was created?
I can guess. Let's all be shocked at the answer.
And so he did. Witherfang and I are bound as one being. But such powerful magic could not be accomplished without Zathrian's...
Of course. A blood mage.
Your people believe you have rediscovered the immortality of their ancestors, Zathrian, but that is not true. So long as the curse exists, so do you.
Aha.
No, that is
You
not.
can be in denial all you want, dude. Always got an excuse to do what they
I did
do.
it for my people. I did it for my son and my daughter. For them, for justice, I would do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The curse would not end with Zathrian's death. His life, however, relies on its existence, and I believe his death plays a part in its ending.
Then we kill him! We tear him apart now!
For all your powers of speech, you are beasts still. What would you gain from killing me? Only I know how the ritual ends, and I will never do it.
Ha! You see? We must kill them all!
See? They turn on you as quickly. Do what you have come here to do, Grey Warden, or get out of my way.
I'll certainly get out of your way, dude. It's your actions they're reacting to. It's the difference here. Your justice may have been executed on somebody way back when.
We're standing for what's right here, no matter what.
This is bullshit.
Then you
Fucking
die with
blood
them.
mages always have
All
an
of you will
excuse.
suffer as you deserve.
And look at how quickly you turned, dude. Well, everything you say about them applies to yourself tenfold, and it really doesn't even apply to them. They're the innocent party here. Because they're not the ones that... whatever someone did way back then, they're dead and gone. These people right here, yeah, take that, bitch. Ouch. Yeah, he's got a couple trees over there working for him.
No, no more. I cannot defeat you.
Yeah, I know.
Finish it! Kill him
This dude's stupid too, though.
No, Swiftrunner. We will not kill him. If there is no room in our hearts for mercy, how may we expect there to be room in his?
I cannot.
That's
do
not a
as
demon
you
talking.
ask, Spirit. I am too old to know mercy. All I see are the faces of my children, my people. I cannot do it. Perhaps I have lived too long. This hatred in me is like an ancient, gnarled root. It has consumed my soul. What of you, Spirit? You are bound to the curse just as I am. Do you not fear your end?
You are my maker, Zathrian. You gave me form and consciousness where none existed. I have known pain and love, hope and fear, all the joy that is life. Yet of all things I desire nothing more than an end. I beg you, Maker, put an end to me. We beg you, show mercy.
You shame me, Spirit. I am an old man, alive long past his time.
Then you'll do it? You'll end the curse?
Yes, I think it is time. Let us put an end to it all.
It's over. She's gone. And we're human. I can scarcely believe it.
Oh, right on. Time to pay up. I'm not kidding.
Time to pay up? What do you mean?
Shit wasn't free. Give me what you got. Empty your pockets. What, did you expect, a sentimental moment?
I have this shield if you want it. I found it here a very long time ago. You're welcome to it.
Alright, well, I guess that'll have to do.
Thank you. We'll never forget you.
Well, I mean, I am a dwarf by nature, right? Alright, sorry. Just for fun. I don't think it makes any difference either way. Did the best thing for both parties. Got the werewolves cured and spared the elves. Sided with, I guess, essentially both of them. Although, I guess the werewolves are no more. At least not in this particular part of town. Now, I still need to go find that, what is it? Iron bark? For the blacksmith back at the Elven village. Elven camp, whatever. And of course, the only path that I didn't travel down in the entire forest is exactly where it was. I said, oh! Alright, there we go, iron bark. And apparently that's what the wolves, I mean, that's what the elves use essentially instead of metal. I guess, sort of.
It is done. The essence of the wolf's heart has banished all traces of cursed blood from the hunters. It is too bad that Zathrian had to die. I felt it when he departed. I think he was ready to go. I suspected. But Zathrian did not like to talk about that. Nonetheless, the curse is over, and no one else will be subjected to it. It will be difficult to fill Zathrian's shoes. He was our keeper for many centuries, and he will be sorely missed. But I am keeper now. Let me say it officially then. I hereby swear to uphold the terms of the ancient contract our people formed with the Grey Wardens. Call, and we shall come, with great speed and purpose, and we shall strike at your foes. This I swear. It has been a long time since the Dalish marched to war, but I trust that in the end, we shall make a difference for you.
Oh, well, I hope so. We certainly put a lot of work into this.
You have returned. Is there any chance you have news of Delilah? You have news? Have you found her? Are you certain? That is her scarf. Where did you find her? What's become of her? So I was right. But what became of her? She told you that? Yes. That is what she would do. At least she is at peace. Here is the amulet, as I promised. Now I should go and make arrangements. I must mourn my wife as is proper. Dareth Shirah, fare you well.
Yeah, I could have left him with positive memories of the Keeper. But you know what? That Keeper was a blood mage responsible for all the pain brought on his tribe. So I don't think he deserves that. Really don't. He needs to go down just for what he was. Blood mage summoned a demon and got a lot of his people killed.
Allow me to say my Cyranus once.
Okay, one thing I wasn't able to find in the woods, which I thought I'd be able to, was the Hala. That was apparently the mate of the sick one. But never came across it, so I don't know. I did look, but yep. Now, let's see.
We are working hard to make enough equipment for all of the hunters. Our armaments will be superior to anything else you find on the battlefield. I am no merchant, but I have plenty that you may need.
Since we've essentially finished kind of like 2 major quests, let's see if he has... Oh wow, look at that axe. If I was playing a 2-handed warrior, I'd probably buy that right now. That looks pretty sweet. 3 rune slots? Not very expensive either. This is definitely some new stuff. I might actually buy that. That looks better than anything I have right now. Also, I'm thinking Leliana in mind, although I'm not going to be using her a lot. If much at all, still. I've got money to throw away. Screw it. I really want to see if he has the tomes. And he does. Alright, so I've done enough, I guess, to get these active. Interesting. Usually it seems like I have to wait and then come back later to get those, for whatever reason.
I understand we will be joining you in battle as soon as the hunters have recovered. I look forward to it.
I get to level up, and I get to pick another specialization. One cool thing is if you're not exactly sure what they have to offer, you can go ahead and pick one and assign your attribute points and then go see what skills it offers. And if you don't like them, if they don't fit what you're trying to do with your character, you can back all the way back out and pick a different specialization and go take a look at it and stuff. You know, once you've finalized your level up, and it'll even ask you, are you sure you want to keep these? And once you say yes, you know, that's it. I believe with the DLC, you can... what's it called? Awakening, I think. You can respec. They have like a potion or an amulet or something you can get to respec. But in the vanilla game anyway, you can't. So, you know, once you've picked something, you gotta kind of be happy with it. I'm gonna pick this because not only does it give you the little stat boost just for picking it, but there are some passives in here. And when it comes to the point where I'm just kind of throwing away points because I don't have anything really crucial to spend them on, passives are passives. They're always in effect. Even if it's just some little bonus, it's something. It's better than nothing. All right. Oh, and remind me on the next one. I'm going to have to go back and turn in that iron bark. I forgot. But, yeah, anyway. I'll go do that. All right, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, click that button over my head. For more Origins, click the top box. For all my videos, click the bottom box. I appreciate you watching if you're still here after all this time. And I will catch you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.